So, good evening, all of you. Welcome to the Toppers Talk session by Lighting Dreams. Lighting Dreams is an initiative by the student of NLU to provide support, guidance, and material to those aspiring for CLAT and other law entrance tests. We have many admins who are working day and night for the well-being of our aspirants. So today we have with us Pulkit Goel from NLU Delhi, who will share his views on the strategy of ALATE. So the exam for NLU Delhi, he is here to share his views. After his views, we will take the question. So you can either put them in the chat box or unmute yourself. So let's begin with the session.
Uh, Hello, I hope I'm audible.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, well, thanks for having me. First of all, you call it topper's talk. I don't know if I'll call myself a topper or not. But I've been asked to talk about ALET and how I approached ALET and how I quote unquote cracked the ALET. Now, when we talk about ALET, it's very important to first understand what's the difference between ALET and CLAT. And like CLAT's the main law entrance test all of you would be giving. And what really separates the ALET from CLAT? Well, earlier before the pattern change last year, one can say that they were pretty similar in patterns. And like in the legal section, both had principal fact questions, so both had a math section, both had GK. English are the same sections, and yeah, one can argue even similar type of questions. However, ALET has still been its own breed. It has resisted this push of being umbrellaed under the CLAT. And even when the patterns were same, for people who were aiming for NLU Delhi, you notice they do a lot of ALET specific prep and even a lot of coaching centers and all, but have ALET specific material. Now, what is something that makes material ALET specific, or what is something that makes something ALET specific preparation? Now, a lot of people will tell you that the ALET is simply a tougher version of the old CLAT in the quality of questions it gives. That it is notorious for giving extremely lengthy principal fact questions, and it is very notorious for giving unsolvable puzzles, and that the math section is horrible, and the English is just out of this world, whatever it is that they ask. Right. Well, and trust me, there are a lot of people who just don't give the ALET because they're scared of it. They A lot of people would even register and not show up because they don't want to get demotivated before the CLAT. Uh, but I'm just here to tell you that all these perceptions about ALET being the tougher exam and ALET somehow just being this um, super difficult exam to crack, and NLU Delhi consequently being a very difficult school to get into. It's not entirely true because again there are a lot of ALET specific hold, please. Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, so I'm just here to tell you that there are a lot of ALET specific things that you need to know, and I believe that a lot of these things can also help you in your other law entrance exams. Uh, So before I started this, I'll just tell you how I attempted my paper. And instead of telling you what I attempted and how I attempted, I believe the best thing to tell you is what I did not attempt. Right? Because what really differentiates someone cracking a paper and someone not cracking the paper is the questions they choose to leave and not the questions they actually choose to do. Right? So I left 8 out of the 10 math questions. Uh, I left around 8 out of the 12 principal fact questions. Uh, and That's more. And I left a few grammar based English questions, right? And like a lot of you, I'm sure, like when you attempt the paper and the thought of leaving 8 out of the 10 math questions, or so when I gave the ALET, there were only 12 to 13 principal fact based questions, and skipping 8 of them sounds something very preposterous when, especially when all of you have this illusion that for some reason the legal section, the principal fact questions are very scoring, right? But here's what ALET does, right? ALET, like at least from my experience, gives you actual cases. And regardless of what the principal says, you are expected to answer what happened in the actual case. Now, for someone, okay, some background about myself. Before I cracked the ALET and I went into NLE Delhi, I was in Jindal for a year. Uh, so ALET was technically my first attempt, and there's a big story behind it. I decided to do law after my boards got over. So for my first attempt, I only had 2 months of prep, and of course, I didn't crack ALET. I got through RG annual, uh, but still, like, and I got through Jindal, so I decided to go to Jindal and give ALET and CLAT another try. So I still had some knowledge of the law while when I was giving ALET, and that is why I can tell you like the principal fact questions are like their actual cases, especially in ALET, and they expect you to answer what was actually held in the case. Very, and it might be very different from what's straight up given uh, in the principal, right? So the principal fact questions in ALET is at least like from my experience have been a trap, right? So while I was preparing, like I probably like tried a lot of different patterns of attempting the paper. Like first start with this section, then start with this section, or first do half of this, then half of this, then in the time left do this, right? And like sure, like there would be a pattern which all of you would be comfortable with and which you feel is the pattern for you to attempt, and that is completely fine to have. But what I'm really here to tell you is that ALET is the exam. ALET is an exam, and the person who takes it is the person who just does the easy stuff. That's it. That is the entire secret, in my opinion, to cracking the ALET and to a large degree to even cracking CLAT and other law entrances. Just do the easy stuff, right? The reason ALET is so notorious for these difficult questions is that people, for some reason, try to attempt those difficult questions. There's no reason to do that, right? A, they take a lot of your time, and B, they are at the end of it all still just worth 1 mark, right? You sort of drill this into your head that every question's worth the same amount of marks. In math, there was literally a question that was as simple as 5 plus 3. If you like it was like 4 plus 3 blank 7, and it was less than equal to greater than some stupid question like this. Now that question is worth the same amount of marks uh, as compared to a math question that is asking you to multiply, add, multiply, divide, right? And of course, the question that's asking that has 7 steps to it is going to take you a much longer period of time compared to a question that just needs to ask you, that's just asking you based on based on arithmetic, whether there is equality or whether there's greater than or whether it is less than, right? So when provided with a choice, and this is something that I feel a lot of people did. They attempt both of it, and especially like when you start reading a section, you'll see this. So like, okay, I know how to do this because at the end of the day, it's still multiplication and division, which I'm good at. So I'll do this. They won't realize it's 7 steps. It's so long. I might as well read the other questions, especially in a section like math where the questions aren't very big, and see the easiest one of them and do that. Right. And that is literally what I did throughout the paper. So there were things I was good at. And I was like, okay, these things I'm just gonna do and I'm gonna do them great. Right. And because I did that, I never felt that I was running out of time. When I got to the legal section, now something that is very, very ALET specific, at least, and this is one of the things which sort of counts as ALET specific prep that you guys naming for the ALET, is static and current legal general knowledge, which is asked in the legal section. It is very, very specific to ALET. No other law entrance asks you this. They might ask you this in the GK section, but it's never such in depth. Now, what they ask you in this is recent famous case laws, old famous case laws, legal maxims, and very like when I gave it, one of the most of the questions revolved around bills that had been introduced in the parliament recently. Right. And they weren't very simple questions. They were very in-depth questions about bill, like what does this bill do? Right. And not just what the bill is called or which year it was passed, what the subject it is on, vagera, vagera. Those are very secondary, but like it goes into the content of the bill. Like, does it regulate or does it deregulate? Does it bring these things in, like for example, the Essential Commodities Act. That was one of the questions on the Essential Commodities Amendment Act. It has like, does it take farm stuff out of it, right? And it other questions based on it. What other body does it establish, right? So these are things which require ALET specific prep, and for that I can recommend. A lot of institutions have like legal GK specific material. Most of it do cover it. Like most of the nice, well-known institutions like Legal Edge, which is what I personally recommend for ALET, because they, for some reason, I feel have got the sauce right when it comes to ALET, in the difficulty of questions and the pattern of questions, or even anyone like CL, LST, or any of these famous, not by famous, I mean just being known, not necessarily that they're better, just that they're known. Most of their legal GK specific material would cover this, and it's very imperative that people aiming for ALET actually go through that. So that was one thing, and just as a cheat code of sorts for this, right before ALET, like a week or so before, a lot of these will start doing YouTube recaps of all the legal GK throughout the year. Do watch them. Watch them at 2 times the speed. That's what I did. 2 times or 1.5 times the speed, and I watched so many videos before the ALET, so that all of these things were very fresh and very ingrained in my head. All the new bills, all the important case laws, वगैरह वगैरह. So this was one thing I knew, right? So as soon as the paper started, I had the habit of starting with the GK section, because GK, starting with the GK section was a bit of a coin flip. Like if it goes well, you have great momentum throughout the paper. If it goes bad, you have bad momentum throughout the paper. And GK, like, you either know, you don't know, right? But like, I just had this habit of starting with GK since it takes the least amount of time, right? So I did GK. GK went well. I went on to the legal, and I first few questions of principal fact, I didn't even read them, right? This is how I cracked it. I didn't even read the principal fact questions. I don't care even if they were easy or not. I know that they're going to take a lot more time than the legal GK questions are going to take. I straight up went to the legal GK questions, did the legal GK questions. There were 12 or 13. I barely left one or two of them. Then I went to the English section. Now, English is something I was strong at, and again, something that's very specific to ALET is the level of comprehensions they have. If you want to like prepare for ALET from a comprehension point of view, I recommend CAT and GMAT books for comprehensions and even for vocabulary, right? So if you go through some CAT verbal guides, they'll have a entire like 20-50 page long vocab lists, and I recommend that you at least read through them all. There are words you would have already come across. A lot of the words you already know, but you're doing it for the words you don't know. So even though it looks like, oh my god, some 2,000 to 3,000 plus words I need to memorize, in reality there is some 1,000 words you need to memorize. And learning one and just memorize. I'm not even asking to understand what they mean, because these exams don't ask you what they mean. They just ask you the synonym, antonym, and those you'll get plenty of practice in CAT books, right? Especially ALET, since again it's not completely comprehension based. So I saw the comprehension, I knew the comprehension, I did the comprehension. Then comes a lot of grammar questions. Now this is something that has become very hyper specific to ALET, especially after the CLAD pattern change. Earlier CLAD also used to have some grammar question, but now ALET has hold again, please. I'm very sorry. Yeah. So now ALET will have a lot of grammar questions, and for that, what I can recommend, and at least what I did was, of course, like CAT ka verbal book, which will have a lot of sentence correction exercises. Even GMAT ka verbal guide has a lot of sentence correction exercises, which are nice. And personally, I believe this is a book like everyone who has been through high school has heard about Wren and Martin, grammar, Wren and Martin. Just go through that, right? ALET has this very bad habit of straight up picking up examples from Wren and Martin, right? Especially when it comes to very oddball things such as what's it called, poetic devices or figures of speech, right? It's something no one studies about. No one studies, no one cares about when they're preparing for law entrances. And this is one thing that the ALET sometimes just gives you a left hook out of nowhere with, right? They'll have 5 questions, and all of them will just ask you what poetic device is being used. Right? And you're like, oh my, like, okay, I studied this in school. Maybe this is a metaphor. Okay. But if you had gone through Wren and Martin, they just straight up like picked an example from Wren and Martin, and they're asking you this, right? So Wren and Martin is definitely a source that's worth looking into when it comes to English. right? Because it will score you things, right? You won't realize it has scored you things, it will score you things. Just because of how similar questions they ask you. Another very famous A-led question is that they'll give you a word and a word being used in five different ways, and then they'll ask you to match it, whether it's being used as a pronoun, whether it's being used as a noun, whether it's being used as an adjective, or whether it's being used as a verb. Right now, these are some things. These are words we're all familiar with, but do we really know when something's being used as a preposition versus when something's being used as an adjective? Right? They get very blurry. The lines get very blurry, and like I kid you not, if you don't do specific prep for this, until you're like very gifted in English, otherwise kudos to you. You've already cracked A-Led. I don't know what you're doing here if you're very gifted in English. But for the majority of us who are not very comfortable with these ideas of what are nouns, what are pronouns, what are prepositions, you need to know these things, right? Especially when it comes to the A-Led, at least like 2 to 4 marks of yours will be saved by this, and vocab lists are another 2 to 4 marks. Comprehension is around 8 marks. And then there are some miscellaneous sentence correction, para jumble questions. And this reminds me, another very specific thing are fill in the blanks and closed tests. Now, fill in the blanks, I'm sure all of you know what fill in the blanks are. Closed tests are big fill in the blanks. Basically, there'll be a complete passage with which is a fill in the blank exercise, and you'll have 5-6 questions on that. So fill in the blanks is something I highly recommend that you guys practice when it comes to the A-Lit. And lastly, I believe like GK, I can't really give you GK tips, but just like one thing that you guys might have fallen out of practice, especially when it comes to GK, because of the new CLAT changes, a lot of you might be focusing a lot more on newspaper and less on these compendiums such as Cloud Affairs, GK Today.
Pulkit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will give suggestion regarding GK.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Just wait for now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So so of course Abhishek will tell you, and he's a very nice person, and I request you all listen to him when he tells you. But just one thing, like just one piece of advice, that a lot of you might have fallen out of the habit of reading these big compendiums, which are 40-50 pages of current affairs, and they're very tedious to read. But that's the current affairs that's at the end asked in A-Lit. CLAT might not ask you a lot of it. It still asks you, like they're still nice for CLAT, because they do ask you some pointers here and there. But CLAT, most of you would be in the habit of reading newspapers, reading editorials, which is again, it's going to help you for A-Lit. But A-Lit is going to have some very specific things such as appointments, right? Who's been appointed as this, right? Or where was this conference held, which might not necessarily be there in the editorials or even in the newspaper in general. Right? The newspaper, like it might cover who won Miss World, but it might not cover who won Miss Earth. Right? It might not cover who is Miss World, Miss Universe, Miss Earth, Miss India, and there's so many other like beauty competitions which you haven't even heard of, Miss Intercontinental, right? And which newspapers just simply don't end up covering because then no one reads that. But you will find these in the GK compendium, which I really recommend that you guys go through. If you've like fallen out of the habit, if you ask me for a recommendation on which GK compendium I should go through, I personally use Cloud Affairs and GK Today. I use both of them. You would probably do fine, like equally fine, if you just use Cloud Affairs or just use GK Today. Just one recommendation: after you have gone through the compendium, do the questions, right? Like Cloud Affairs has weekly compendiums. Do the weekly compendium. Do the weekly question sheet. GK Today has monthly compendiums. Do the monthly compendium and do the monthly questions, right? Those questions are what your real practice is. Those questions are why you're gonna end up remembering stuff at the end of it. Logic. One thing that is again very overlooked, though it might not be as overlooked since CLAT pattern has changed, is critical reasoning. A-Led easily has 8 to 10 critical reasoning questions in its logic, and earlier no one used to prepare for it. Since critical reasoning, everyone associated with LSAT and everyone like who wants to crack the LSAT. But since now CLAT also has critical reasoning, I'm assuming all of you have good practice of critical reasoning. However, one thing I'll tell you is, and how the A-Led critical reasoning is still different, is that it's one question per passage unlike CLAT, which is like a passage and 5 questions, and it's actual critical reasoning, not the pardon my French, but not the bullshit that CLAT has, right? CLAT critical reasoning is just horrible. It's bad. And if that's your idea of critical reasoning, and if that's the critical reasoning you're used to, it might be difficult for you to do A-Lit critical reasoning. But I really recommend like take a past, like one of the best sources for critical reasoning is the LSAT and is the GMAT, and to some extent the CAT. Even the CAT gets it wrong sometimes, But LSAT and GMAT are just excellent sources of critical reasoning. Practice critical reasoning. So this helps you not only, this helps you with everything. It literally helps you with your English comprehension. It helps you with logic, definitely. And it also to a degree helps you with math when they're asking you very specific stuff which other people simply don't understand because they're not used to closely reading the text, which critical reasoning requires you to do. Right. So practice actual critical reasoning questions, which ask you what the assumption is, how do you weaken the argument, how do you strengthen the argument, how do you rebut the argument, what is the argument can be summarized as, what is the most similar form of argument. Now, these are questions which you would have come across while preparing for CLAT, but in my experience, at least, like the sample papers the consortium released had decent enough questions when it came to critical reasoning, but the actual questions in the paper were a tragedy, were a travesty. They required you to make so many assumptions in answering, and some of them were straight up GK questions dressed as critical reasoning questions for some reason. So yeah. Now again, like I'm not saying when I say that they're just bad, I say they're bad because they label them as critical reasoning questions. They're not critical reasoning questions. They're still a brand of question, and if you're good at them, that's very nice. That's very nice, and of course they're gonna help you with CLAT. But for ALET, like practice actual what actually critical reasoning questions are. They can be very tough. They can be time consuming, and like I know, I you can obviously skip them. Like the first advice I gave you, like just skip the hard questions, skip questions which are not which you just know you can't do, but for some reason your ego compels you to do them because you feel that if I don't do this, like this is what's going to give you me the edge. That is not what's going to give you the edge. What's going to give you the edge is leaving the difficult question and doing the easy one. Like this should be at the back of your head all the time, right? And after you've done with all the easy questions, you probably have 10-20 minutes remaining. Then start with the less easy question. Start with the more difficult question. Start with the question which takes the least time to do. Right, easiness and least time to do. These are two things you always keep in mind because ALET is a smaller exam. It's only 90 minutes and it only has 150 marks. So I believe the CLAT is also now 150. I don't exactly remember, but the CLAT is still 2 hours, whereas the ALET is 90 minutes. It's a sprint compared to what CLAT is. CLAT is more of a marathon. Right, so get those easy stuff done. But since critical reasoning like occupies such a big portion of logic, which is like 7 to 8 questions, I recommend that you don't completely skip it, right? Like it's completely like my thought process is completely fine to skip a lot of principal fact questions because if you do them more, like 50 to 60% of the time, you're gonna get them wrong in ALET, right? Just because of how trapped the answers are. But critical reasoning is something you can be very accurate with when attempting. Another thing which might seem like a quote unquote puzzle to you in logical reasoning, in which ALET continuously gives, and these are technically the quote unquote harder puzzles of ALET. They are paneling questions, right? And what are paneling questions? They are the analytical reasoning question present in LSAT. Okay, literally, if like they're so specific in the way that if you're just trained in normal puzzles, you won't be able to do them since they're so conditional and every question adds another condition. Like if this goes there, then tell us the rest of the sequence, right? And there's something which is very unlike puzzles, which give you all conditions there, and maybe like some very difficult questions put a condition in the question, right? But that's not how paneling works. Paneling is a different beast. It's similar, like your skills in puzzling will help you with it, but it's still something you need to practice separately. And this is like again what ALET specific prep is. So look at past year LSAT questions, specifically analytical reasoning and critical reasoning questions. And those are the kind of questions that the ALET has. And these are things that a lot of people miss out on because the CLAT at least didn't give these type of questions. Even now, like the analytical reasoning quotient of CLAT is like non-existent, like one set at max, right? And not even paneling questions. They're straight up logical puzzles. I guess at least, right? So these things, there's a very specific type of question that you should prepare for if you're aiming for the ALET. Other than that, it has your regular puzzling. It has your regular puzzles. I can't say regular now since again your CLAT pattern is same, but like stuff like blood relations, stuff like puzzle stuff like paneling, stuff like coding, decoding, seating arrangements, critical reasoning. Right? And a lot of these things have now become ALET specific now. Earlier they weren't because of the pattern thing. And yeah, again, thing you need to at least have some. You need to set your hand on, right? But again, a lot of people are very specific, very focused on CLAT, and they don't practice these things because they're like, okay, they're not going to ask this in CLAT. Why even practice it? Now, these are some things that you should practice. Again, there are too many books for this in the market. Your coaching institutes will have material for you. People here at Lightning Dreams will give you material for it. Don't worry about material. Like, the main point is like your worry isn't to get material. Your worry is to practice and do the questions. So if you're doing these questions, if you've practiced these questions, there's literally nothing that can stop you from cracking the ALET. One last piece of advice that I give every time whenever someone asks me is like analyze your mocks. I cannot stress how important it is that you yourself analyze your mocks, see what you're doing wrong, and then do that question right. It's not just like, okay, I did this question, okay, like something like GK, you're like, okay, did this question wrong in GK, this is the correct answer, now I know. But these things just don't work with logic. Logic will tell you, okay, this is what the pattern should have been. And you look at the condition, like, how do you even arrive at this pattern, right? Now, those are the questions you need to redo when you get them wrong. Until and unless you do that, you're not going to get them correct the other time, right? So please analyze your mocks. Please do the questions you got wrong, and that's the only way on improving, right? If you ever feel your mock scores are stagnating, that's because you're not analyzing enough, right? Because most of the times people make similar kinds of mistakes, and if you analyze, you stop yourself from making similar kinds of mistakes. Uh, yeah, so that's all I have to talk about. If there are any questions, I'll take them.
Yeah, if the aspirants have questions, they can either put them in the chat box or you can unmute yourself.
Guys, participation is very important. Please participate.